The water swirled down the drain, taking the last of the toothpaste foam with it. Sophie leaned in, ready to splash her face, but froze. That wasn't her bathroom. Behind her reflection, past her own wide eyes and damp hair, was a room she'd never seen before. The walls were a sickly yellow, the wallpaper peeling back in damp, curling strips. It was empty, dim, and utterly alien. A chill that had nothing to do with the tiled floor crept up her spine. She grabbed a hand towel, wiping furiously at the glass. But the image remained. The strange, decaying room stared back at her. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She spun around, her eyes darting to every corner of her actual bathroom. The familiar white tiles, the neatly folded towels, the shower curtain with its cheerful blue pattern. Everything was exactly as it should be. She turned back to the mirror. The wrong room was still there, a silent, impossible window into nowhere. Sleep offered no escape. The next morning, a knot of dread tightened in her stomach as she approached the bathroom. She forced herself to look. The room was still there, but it had changed. A simple, dark wooden chair now stood in the reflection, positioned just behind her right shoulder, as if someone had placed it there for a guest. Her head snapped back. Nothing. Just the empty space between her and the wall. The air in her own bathroom suddenly felt heavy, suffocating. Her hands trembled as she pulled out her phone. Maybe a picture would break the illusion, prove she was just overtired or losing her mind. She aimed the camera at the mirror and snapped a photo. Her breath hitched. In the digital image, the reflected room was sharper, more defined. Pale light filtered through what looked like boarded-up windows. And in the far corner, almost lost in the shadows, was a faint, tall shape. A figure. It was just standing there, watching. That was it. She couldn't look anymore. Ripping a large towel from the rack, she threw it over the mirror, obscuring the nightmarish view. The silence of her apartment felt different now, charged with a new and menacing energy. She retreated to her bedroom, pulling the covers up to her chin, trying to will herself to sleep. But just as the clock ticked over to 3:14 a.m., a sound sliced through the quiet. Tap, tap, tap. It was delicate, rhythmic. Glass. Her eyes shot open towards the hallway. The towel had fallen. The mirror was uncovered. Morning arrived, but the horror had only multiplied. It wasn't just the bathroom mirror anymore. Every reflective surface had become a portal. The glass of the microwave, the dark screen of her television, the windows looking out onto the street. They all showed the same decrepit room, and it had changed again. The chair was empty now, but scrawled on the wall behind it in what looked like dark smeared letters was a single word: look. Panic gave way to a surge of frantic energy. She grabbed the heaviest thing she could find, a decorative paperweight, and hurled it at the bathroom mirror. The glass exploded, a shower of glittering shards raining down onto the floor. For a heart-stopping second, there was relief, but as she looked down, her hope shattered. In every single broken piece, from the largest sliver to the tiniest speck of glass, the strange room shimmered back at her, 1,000 tiny windows into hell. "You're just stressed, Soph," Maya said, her voice a comforting balm over the phone. But an hour later, standing in Sophie's living room, her skepticism began to fade. Sophie led her to the large standing mirror in the hallway. "Just look," Sophie whispered. They stood side by side, their reflections staring back. At first, Maya saw nothing but their worried faces. Then she gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. In the reflection, in the world behind the glass, Sophie wasn't standing next to her. She was sitting in the wooden chair, a slow, vacant smile spreading across her face. Sophie didn't need to see Maya's expression. She ran. She fled the hallway, her own home now a labyrinth of terrifying portals. She stumbled into the kitchen, her eyes screwed shut, refusing to look at the gleaming toaster or the dark window pane. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, the vibration startlingly loud. She pulled it out to see the camera app had opened on its own. The front-facing lens pointed directly at her, and in the screen's small dark reflection, the room was there. But it wasn't distant anymore. It was closer, brighter, as if she were standing right on its threshold. The next morning, the house was silent. Sunlight streamed through the windows, glinting off the many mirrors, all of them now uncovered. The shards on the bathroom floor, the screen of the phone lying on the kitchen counter, the large standing mirror in the hall, they all showed the same scene. The room behind the glass was no longer dim or decaying. It looked complete, furnished, and sitting perfectly still in the wooden chair, staring straight ahead with empty, placid eyes, was Sophie. Welcome home. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories that will haunt your reflections.